Episode 3, The Book Between Them, from the series Unwritten Hearts. Max hadn't planned to start the book that night, but something about the quiet of his apartment, the hum of the fridge, the low amber light on his living room floor, invited stillness. The Art of Being Enough lay untouched on his table, its cover plain, unassuming. He opened it with low expectations. Yet within the first chapter, the words struck him like a whisper into the parts he usually ignored. Stop measuring your worth by how much you do. Begin noticing who you are when you're still. It didn't sound like advice. It sounded like something he'd needed to hear since he was 10. The book wasn't about becoming more or fixing yourself. It was about unraveling the quiet lie that being useful is the same as being lovable. It gently pulled apart the belief that burnout was noble, and instead asked questions Max had always avoided. Who are you when no one's watching? What do you believe you need to prove to deserve love? He closed the book and just sat there, breath slow. Maybe for the first time, he felt like he didn't need to be impressive, just real. A few days later, Leah sat on a bench outside a flower shop, her favorite old book in her lap, one she hadn't opened in over a year, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. The pages had been highlighted and underlined with a kind of desperate urgency from another version of herself, one still climbing the ladder of a job that drained her spirit. She turned to one of the early pages. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. The book wasn't about perfectionism, it was about belonging, not fitting in, not winning approval, belonging to yourself. It described how people-pleasing and overachieving were ways we try to armor our hearts, when in truth, we're already worthy, simply because we exist. Leah exhaled slowly. She remembered why this book saved her once. Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process, it read, is the bravest thing we'll ever do. She took out her notebook and wrote one line, "Maybe I don't have to be extraordinary to be lovable." She smiled for the first time that week. Later that afternoon, Max walked into the bookstore again, hopeful, nervous. He held both books in his hands, ready to talk about everything that had shifted inside him. He wanted to thank her, to tell her he felt different, lighter. But Leah was gone. She left her last shift yesterday, the shop owner said kindly. Took a job out of town, I think. Left a note, though, not addressed. He handed Max a small folded paper. Inside, in Leah's clean, looping handwriting, were just 9 words. Sometimes it takes walking away to hear yourself clearly again. Max stood there for a long moment, the paper soft between his fingers. She was gone. But her words weren't. And somehow, neither was he. Not the version of him who thought love had to be earned. That one was starting to fade. To find out where Leah went and what brings them back together, read Part 4, Letters Never Sent.